want to, however, emphasize what we see in Romans chapter 4, which is very applicable to what we're going to be talking about today. That phrase, fully persuaded, in Romans chapter 4 and verse 21. Being fully persuaded at what he had promised, he was able to perform. One of the reasons why we are considering this subject is because we will need this kind of faith called fully persuaded faith for two reasons. Number one, to overcome a faith crisis. What I call a faith crisis is simply when a promise from God seems to be hanging. You know you heard God. God said he was going to do this, but it seems to be hanging. That's what Abraham went through. It was a faith crisis. And we'll all go through it. Concerning Sarah, the Bible says she received strength because she judged him faithful who promised. That's Hebrews 11:11. She judged him faithful. So a faith crisis happens to make you judge God unfaithful. Are you listening to me? And for many of us, some of us who have been through that a lot, where you know that in your heart you are saying, God is a scam. This healing talk no be real. But Abraham, fully persuaded, was able to overcome that faith crisis. The Bible says he was strengthened in faith. He glorified God, even though his body was dead. The second reason why we need the fully persuaded faith is to do what I call faith continuity. For most of us, to begin in faith like the Galatian church is not difficult. You began in the spirit, but now you want to be perfected in the flesh. Faith continuity. Faith crisis and faith continuity. Remember the story of Matthew chapter 14, or rather Matthew chapter 14? Jesus walking on water. Peter said, if you are the one, tell me to come. And Peter began his journey of faith. But faith was not fully persuaded. He did not understand the principles of being fully persuaded. So he began to sink because he changed his focus. He could not continue in the faith that walked on water. Colossians 1:23, if you continue, being grounded and rooted, if you continue. There are many things you will never receive from God without this reality of being fully persuaded. Yeah. For some of us, we are sure and then we are not too sure. For us, some people here now, are you going to heaven now? They say, by the grace of God. You see, and now this kind of thing, they make us, we're not going to make progress with God like this. If I ask you what's your name, you tell me. What's your date of birth? You tell me. Without thinking, from your sleep. If I say, are you going to heaven? You say, it depends. So. By the grace of God. It's because you are not fully persuaded. Are you listening to me? So this concept, if we do not understand it, many things that should be normal things we receive from God will elude us. 2 Timothy 1:12. I like you to look at how Paul wrote it. For this reason, I also suffer these things. Nevertheless, I am not ashamed. For I know whom I have believed. That's one level of faith. To know whom you have believed. In our hearts. And I'm what? Persuaded. Come on. And I'm what? Persuaded. So I know who I believed. Yes, that's fine. That's good. That's brilliant. But it doesn't stop there. You see, when Israel came out of Egypt, they came out by faith. But that was not the complete package. Everybody say complete package. No. When they ate manna in the wilderness, that was not the complete package. But they didn't understand full persuasion. Many of them perished in the wilderness. They did not enter the promised land. Why? They were not fully persuaded. They began in faith, left Egypt in faith, stayed in the wilderness for a while in faith, but then they began to draw back. Full persuasion gets you the whole package. I said full persuasion gets you the whole package. It's just not God's intention that Peter would take 5 steps. Say, at least I've tried. I enter Guinness Book of Record. No. The intention was that Peter will walk to Jesus, and then other people will be angry and say, me too, I'll do my own. Are you getting it? Yes, sure, you know that other people's face were affected when Peter fell. If somebody was thinking that let me go and jump Peter, when he saw Peter, he said, you don't follow it? You see? Safety first. So you see, your faith, some other people too, they use them for experiment. See, if they can get it, me too, I will try it. You can't afford to fail your generation. Don't let it be said that somebody gave up because you could not see it through to the end. No. Fully persuaded.